I have quite a few different follow focus systems, the normal mechanical one and some wireless one, big one and small one. There's one that I really like is the Nitze follow focus, which I bought a few years ago. I like it a lot because it is really solid, it feels very smooth, and it is also very adjustable. But for some reason, I just don't use that follow focus as much as I want. I think maybe one of the reasons is because for that Nitze follow focus, I need to install a base block to the cage to attach the rods and then attach the follow focus to it. So that makes the whole camera setup quite big and not really suitable for handheld shooting at all. So now I have this new Nitze Mini follow focus. It is a much smaller setup, and let's have a look at it today and see if it is actually a nice follow focus or not. And a usual disclaimer before we start, Nitze sent me this pre-production sample follow focus for this review, but this is a completely independent review just like all the other reviews on this channel. To install the Nitze Mini follow focus onto your camera, the first thing you need to do is to attach this bracket onto the cage. It uses 2 1/4-inch screws to lock onto your cage, so it means you can attach it pretty easily on pretty much any cage in the market. In this video, I'm going to use it with the Nitze GH6 cage, and as I want to attach the SSD holder on one side of the cage, so I install this bracket on the top of the cage. So once you tighten the bracket onto the cage, you then install this rod onto your bracket, and then you lock it. You can now install the follow focus onto the rod, but let's talk about the follow focus a little bit more first. The Nitze Mini follow focus is quite similar to their normal size follow focus. It is a little bit smaller, but it's still made of metal and it feels very solid. Apart from the size, the biggest difference is that the normal Nitze follow focus requires 2 rods to provide a more solid support, and that's why you will need to install a base block onto your cage, while the Nitze Mini follow focus just use 1 rod and doesn't need that base block. In terms of adjustability, while the Nitze Mini follow focus is a little bit smaller, but there are still a lot of adjustments that you can do. You can adjust the angle here in the middle, and you can mount the gear on either side of the follow focus, and the kit comes with 3 different 0.8 mod gears for you to use with lenses of different sizes. And if you are not using a cine lens, so it doesn't have the gear on it, there is also a rubber gear that you can mount onto your lens, which is suitable for lenses up to 100mm diameter. The follow focus is very well dampened. It just feels very smooth. While the diameter of the wheel is slightly smaller than the normal size Nitze follow focus, it is still big enough that I can control it smoothly and accurately. You can set the AP point using the provided pins, or you can mark them yourself on the magnetic marking disc. There's a slot here at the end for you to install a whip or a speed crank if you want, but you need to buy them separately. Okay, now we're going to finish the installation by mounting this follow focus onto the rod. Just slide it in and then lock it tightly, and that's it. There's one more way for you to attach the follow focus, and that is to use the Nitze 50mm aluminum alloy rod kit. Using that rod kit, you can attach a rod directly onto your cage 1/4-inch screw mount. While this mini follow focus only uses 1 rod to support it, it's still a relatively stable setup. However, because Nitze want to keep this setup as small as possible, so the rod that comes with it is not really a very long one. It is only 100mm or just about 4 inches. So if your lens is quite a long one, especially with the focus ring quite far from the lens mount, then this follow focus may not be really suitable for you. So this is the complete setup, the Nitze Mini follow focus mounted on the GH6. It is a very compact setup. I can use it for run and gun style shooting, and of course it also works very well when mounted on a tripod. The control is very smooth, and while it's a very small setup, it still has a lot of adjustable options, and the build quality is pretty much as solid as the normal size Nitze follow focus, so it feels very solid. I do not know the price yet as it's still in pre-production phase at the moment, but as long as Nitze doesn't give it a crazy price, this is a really good follow focus, especially for those of you who want to keep your camera setup as small as possible and still want to use a follow focus to achieve the smooth manual focus operation.